So as you can see, since the last video I've done a little bit, but I mean, we're far from finished. So this video will be mostly about installing the steering bearing and just assembling some of these pieces back together. Here are the bearings that I got off of eBay. I was slightly worried that these wouldn't fit, but they ended up fitting just fine. So one of the things that I did off camera was to grind out the frame a little bit to prepare it for the new bearing cup. Just because we welded the old one out, so it destroyed the frame a little bit. So I get some grease in here, and then I just start lightly tapping the new bearing cup in place. Another thing that I do when I'm working on this project is that I'm usually I watch videos on YouTube of this stuff before I do it myself, and it's been very useful because here, like, I knew already when I took the old bearing cup out that I'm gonna need to hold on to it to use it to tap the new one into place, which is what you see me doing here. And here I'm just lightly tapping the bearing with this punch just to not hit the cage, and it was alright to get it on. I had to strike this one pretty hard, so I found this battery cable that I used. Probably destroyed the cable though. Now you may notice that I'm actually taking apart the forks instead of putting them in, and that's because I forgot that I have these fork covers that I'm gonna put on, so I have to take them out and then put on the fork covers. I may not be doing everything in the most optimal and efficient manner, and at least a little bit of the reason for that is that I just need to get some parts back on, because before I can start doing on another thing, just to keep order in my head and in my garage, I can't like start on the engine before I've actually assembled all the parts that I can assemble on the bike. That's why I'm doing this whole video before I even start looking at the engine or the carburetor or anything like that. Now, if you have a lot of observational skills and know this bike very well, then you'll see that I'm making a bit of a mistake right now, which I have yet to figure out. But basically, when I assemble this rear fork, then I put on this part the wrong way. So you can see here that is supposed to be the opposite. Now, since I've started assembling this stuff, I've noticed that things are disappearing, and I know I haven't taken them out of my garage, but still, you know, they're nowhere to be found. So I don't know what's happening there, but eventually I found one of the things I was missing was the front wheel bolt, and I'm still not sure that I found the bolt for this bike or that I found a spare part that I had that I got actually buying the bike, but at least I found one bolt that I can use. So this part, getting the wheels on with the equipment I had at the time, was not very fun or easy. You have to hold up the bike and, you know, try to wiggle the wheel in, and in addition to that, you have to try not to scratch the paint job that I've done on this bike too much, so it was just a nightmare. Watch the bike now as I try to adjust this nut. Oh, there goes the bike, scratching up my new paint job. Now, I don't use the manual enough at all when I do this, and for some reason I thought that this bolt here, keeping in mind that I didn't know if it was actually the right bolt, I just assumed that, you know, that it fit good enough to be the bolt, but for some reason I thought that it needed a nut on the end of it, and I didn't use the manual and check, and I didn't go back through my old videos to see if it had. So I spent some time wondering why why the bolt was not long enough to have a nut on there. Turns out it doesn't have a nut on there. So that's kind of where we are. The wheels are gonna have to be done something with, but they obviously I tried to wash them as you saw, but that didn't really turn out. I don't know what they need. I probably need just some stronger chemicals or something. But yeah, I've already started working on the engine, taking one of the engines apart. So that'll probably be upcoming in the next video. And yeah, thanks for watching.